Welcome to the world. Another day, another time, another period to experience knowledge acquisition. Knowledge is power, health is wealth. Today, the topic I've chosen is how to stay free of anthrax. Anthrax has been confirmed in some West African countries, and it is necessary for us to get familiar. Once you are familiar with something, they say familiarity breeds contempt. So once we are familiar, we will be able to understand all about anthrax, and therefore we will be able to guide ourselves against anthrax. All the knowledge we have acquired so far is because we familiarize ourselves with anthrax, with all the bacterial infections of the world, and that's why we are working tall against many of these infectious diseases. As we move on to the slide section, press the like button, subscribe, or even press the notification bell so that more quality production like this will come. How to stay anthrax free. The outline, objective, introduction, weaknesses exposed from familiarity, other preventive measures, laboratory diagnosis, recommendation of conclusion. The objective, to expose the weaknesses of Bacillus anthracis and how we can exploit them to stay free of anthrax infection. The introduction. Anthrax is the name of the infection contracted from herbivores, animals like cattle, sheep, goats, antelope, and the likes that are infected with Bacillus anthracis. The normal habitat is the soil, where its vegetative state does not last, and so it exists as a spore. And only when it enters a favorable host does it change to its vegetative state and grow. In the spore form, they stay dormant for decades without any known metabolism, eating nothing and excreting nothing. It needs high effective dose of 8,000 to 10,000 spores to infect humans successfully. So it is usually gotten from infected sick animals that have more than enough effective dose to transfer to man. It's also called wool-sota disease because when they skin this wool from the sheep, you can be seriously infect the person fleeing the wool. Infected animals or humans have something specific in that when bleeding from the nose, mouth, other orifices, that there is no blood clot seen. It has a relatively short incubation period of 1 day to 10 days and is seen as black anthrax. That blackness is called the anthrax in Greek. Scab on wounds infection. These infection sites are the cutaneous, gastrointestinal, inhalation, and contaminated heroin injected needles. Weaknesses exposed from familiarity. If we familiarize ourselves with a brief introduction, we will know that it is only herbivores that can transfer it to man. So we will always look at for unvaccinated sick herbivores and report to vet doctors immediately, so that that way we stay free of anthrax infection in our environment. We know they don't exist in the vegetative form in the soil because the competition is very steep there. So they stay dormant in the spore forms that could have made them not zoonotic, not easily transferred to human. So it is not easily transferred to human, and that's an advantage, more or less. The high effective dose shows that they are highly infectious. They are not very highly infectious to cause sporadic pandemic, though serious epidemic of the past have been recorded. Some as early as 1313 before Christ. Even some make references to the plague that Moses put on the Egyptians. Once a sick animal bleeds without clotting, then it could be anthrax. Don't go near it, but invite the vet. Because it has a short incubation period, there is a need to treat any suspicious person or sick person as an emergency. The cutaneous anthrax infection is about 95% more common than the rest. So if there is a noticeable blister that shows that black central area, anthrax is most likely the cause, and that is part of the weakness. So, and you can see that black central spot, very black, especially with somebody who is light in skin. That's anthrax bacillus, the rod itself. And this is it in the pulmonary aspirate. When you look, you see the rod shape. Other preventive measures are as follows. Exercise caution when buying animals from countries that are confirmed as having anthrax infection. There is no point buying from there. You can source from other areas. Do not slaughter herbivores at home. Rather, make use of the abattoirs. Do not eat products from sick or dead animals. Notify health authority when you see any human or animal showing symptoms of fever, painless skin sore with that black center. That is the anthrax, diffuse difficulty in breathing, bleeding from the nose, and there is no clot. Laboratory diagnosis. It is a large gram-positive encapsulated rod and spore-forming aerobic bacteria. So under the gram stain, that's what you see. Body fluid stained with polychrome methylene blue will show positive McFarlane reaction smear. So when you look at it, that red covering around the rod is confirmatory. Culture shows characteristic medusa head, non-hemolytic on horse blood agar, and growth in CO2. Encourages capsule formation. So the capsule is diagnostic. Biochemical reactions are not helpful. When you look at that, these are the rod from culture. When you gram the culture aspect, they stick together. The rods stick together. And they are gram positive. So looking like rod in chain. But when you look into the in vivo, this is the pulmonary aspirate. You see them in single. Those black rods that we are seeing, they are Bacillus anthracis that is causing serious health challenge for those who inhale it. Recommendation and conclusion. Familiarity breeds content, truly. It's more about knowing the life cycle of Bacillus anthracis to use it to protect ourselves. Vaccination of livestock is key, and also vet workers and all those who work in close proximity with these herbivores, those who have farms for animals, should also take care of vaccinating the animal as well as those who take care of them. Sick animals should follow strict quarantine measures to prevent the spread of anthrax to other animals. Common antibiotics that we use to treat it is just penicillin, ciprofloxacin, are useful in treatment. You can stay on to watch the next slide. There are so many slides on this channel that has to do with health problems. So just click and you are on.